Hey everybody, it's Hawk here. Today we are talking about apocalyptic weapons. So you can see this will be the first episode in the series I'll be doing. It is called Armaments of the Apocalypse. So we'll be covering primarily weapons, but also any armor or vehicles, if I get to that point. Don't hold your breath on that one, it'll be fun to do, but I don't think it'll happen. But anything basically resulting that will be used for violence or defending oneself from violence. So today we were talking about the bill or the brush axe. Now, of course, some context involved as to what I will be discussing about. I am not talking about specifically zombie apocalypses. I'm going to mention zombies, but that's not going to be my primary focus here. It's covered by, like, literally everybody, and is boring as heck as far as I'm concerned. I like zombies. I like zombie apocalypses. They're fun to talk about. They're fun to go over. But frankly, when that's kind of the only thing we're talking about, I feel like we're completely missing the entire genre. Like, you know, Striker, Battle Truck, Wheels of Fire, Raiders of the Sun. You know, all those glorious low-budget 80s post-apocalyptic movies that involve cyborgs, mutants, mutated people and animals. You know, radioactive shenaniganery, possibly supernatural stuff. You know, the fun, weird stuff. Like murder bots. So, Fallout, basically. Though probably not to that level. So, primarily the things that we'll be getting rated for this thing is wild animals, beefed up wild animals, and anything that's humanoid. Because that's primarily what we'll be fighting. So that's kind of what I'll be judging this on. Now, you would assume that something like this would be quite good, and honestly, you'd be right. I've done a basic cutting test, nothing too extreme, just chopping a couple of jugs, and really what I came to here is this just needs to be sharpened. This is a little too dull, but I just bought this. I didn't do anything to it. I bought it from the hardware store and moved on with it. And that shouldn't be shocking, because this is the war version of it. This is an English bill, of course, and this has a much better edge. Now, interestingly, holding on to the two of them, this is not significantly thicker than this one is. It's just smaller, you know. The war bill is smaller, but it has a large pointy bit on it, whereas this one does not. Now, if you are in a situation where everything is collapsed and you happen to be in a place where guns are not something you can get a hold of, or you're just not good with them, I pity you, frankly. You can go to probably any hardware store or gardening store and find a brush axe. That's what this was called. Now, I don't know if it's going to be as good as this one. I don't even know if this is the highest quality one, but this was 30 bucks, and most people aren't going to think about grabbing this. So what you're going to find is that this is going to be significantly better than probably anything else you're going to grab. It's much lighter than a sledgehammer, it's much lighter than a wood axe, and frankly, I think this would be a far superior weapon. Now, there's more to it than just that. This is also a tool, because it is still a brush axe. So again, I've actually never done anything with this before. And this is some dry wood. I'm not expecting this to be terribly difficult, but this is robust and designed to do that. It is specifically designed to do that, and that's pretty crap wood anyway, but you get the point. This is designed to get the absolute crap kicked out of it, because it's a tool. It is designed to go through stuff like that, to chop through bushes like that, to go through whips and things of that nature, to go through shrubs and all sorts of lovely things. And therefore, it is sturdy. It is a beefy thing. Now, as you can see how I'm holding it like it's an axe. Because that's what it is. I mean, this is as long as it is. You can call that a pole arm if you want, but I'm calling it an axe. Because that's how you're going to fight with it. Now, you don't have any thrusting capability with this. Because this is not... You can kind of like jab with the hook here. But there's a reason why the pole arm version gets a pointy bit. Now, let's be honest, if you have access to a welder, it's not too hard to jam a pointy bit on the end of this. I mean, I wouldn't use this particular knife, but You can understand the point here. Again, I wouldn't use this particular knife. This is quite beefy. But a kitchen knife, maybe? And again, access to a welder would be useful. If you don't, though, you just don't get to stab with it, and it kind of sucks. But it's not a necessary thing. Now, this is good against people. This is good against other humanoid enemies. So, I mean, zombies, just nice. Gives you some, here, I'll back up a bit so you can get a better look. As you can see, you get some acceptable reach here. I mean, it is far away from me. Now, in my instance, I'd be using this because I am much farther away from things I don't want to be near. But if you don't have that option, this will be fine. You can, in fact, keep a decent distance on things and keep yourself out of harm's way. So, against anything humanoid that isn't significantly stronger than you, so, again, as I said, zombies, cannibals, mutant cannibals, probably, various other mutated things that are of a rough humanoid appearance, you'll probably be fine. I do question this thing's veracity against animals. So let's go with feral dogs. That is something that you may have to engage with. Now, the dog is going to be about down here-ish. Now, you can get some decent hits down here, but the issue is you can't stab. So typically when an animal charges a human, we let it impale itself. That is the typical solution. So against a wild animal, I would, like if it's a dog, I would just, it's not huge, I don't have to actually brace all that hard, I just need to get the point in front of me, and then let it, keep it away from me doing this, and then thrust at it. That's the typical solution we have here. As you can tell, I don't have that capability with this. I have to swing. Meaning, it's a dog charging at me, I would swing, and it's going to probably go for my leg, so it'd be a swing like this to hit it. Now even if I miss, and it does bite me, I'll still hit it. But it's bit me. That's the problem here. I'm going to have to take hits in order to hit it, because I don't have a lot of reach here. So I can swing farther away, and I can kind of keep things away from me. But remember, if we're talking about dogs, there's a pack of them, and they're coming after me. And I don't have anywhere near the kind of room I want. Whereas with this, again, anything pointy. It doesn't have to be a bill. It could literally be, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know my old video about knife spears. Don't worry, I'll be doing those again because those were fun. But anything that's got some decent length, I can keep things away from me and get something up behind me, like a wall or some trees, and I can keep them all back. And I can even threaten them a bit because I can make them think I don't have the reach that I have. Whereas this, I don't get to play that game. There is none of that getting played here. The reach I have is the reach I have, and that is the end of that discussion. Now, that is against wolves. If you're up against something like a bear, or something the size of a bear, I do not want to be using this against a bear. I'm sorry, no, because a bear stands up, and it's about the same size as me. It's going to have a little bit longer reach than me, arm-wise. Now, I can technically reach out and hit it with this. I don't want to be that close to a bear. And if it's charging me, this is not going to do it. This would have problems doing it, but I could at least brace into the ground as such, and it'll drive the pole arm into itself. And that is where the lack of a thrusting capability in this is coming in. However, remember, this is just a piece of hardware. This is a tool that you've literally picked up off a shelf. And the fact that it's doing so well already is kind of impressive. And with very small modifications, you can make it much better. You could rehaft this. I mean, look at how it's attached. It's just attached by 3 bolts. That's nothing, all right? you could honestly get a very long oar, because that's kind of what this handle feels like. It feels like an oar handle. And they make those really long oars that are like, you know, that tall. You get one of those, carve the front end down. I'm not sure if it'd be quite durable enough, but that's something worth testing in my opinion. I might actually do that later. That'd be fun. And then you can re-secure this blade onto that, and you wouldn't lose anything. You would literally just take everything that you see here, so the metal reinforcing on this, the bolts, the nuts, all of it, and then you just put it on the new handle. And then you can have a pole arm. A nice proper one. Much longer handle. And then after that, it's just a matter of getting yourself a welder or a soldering iron, I suppose. I would not trust that personally, but you could in a pinch. Or copious amounts of duct tape. Again, don't trust it, but you could if you're desperate. I wouldn't trust it for more than 1 or 2 hits, but there you go. The point is, you can turn this into a proper pole arm. And even, let's say it breaks. Well, this will still work. It'll be a little heavy, I think, but nothing saying that something this short won't still function. I might want to get 2 hands on it, use it as a short 2-handed chopper, but it's workable. And that's the important part here. And the fact that these are not in more movies is a bitter disappointment to me. I am very sad that I don't see these in low-budget apocalypse movies or comic books or stories, because this, instead of a fire axe, just feels like such a better weapon. Because you can move it so much faster. I mean, look at this. I have complete proper control with this thing. For as much as a person who has no training with it can. And it's so easy to find. But that being said, we're gonna explore this more. This is just sort of the here it is introduction video, and I'm gonna do more stuff. Like I'm gonna go see if I can find an old door and see if I can go through that and get some other targets and chop things up with it and just have some fun. But this is my first impressions, and first impressions, not bad. It's definitely got potential as a weapon. So remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. Specifically for comments, leave suggestions for things you want me to go over. Whether it's a weird weapon from a movie, please, if you're going to suggest them, be things that I could actually replicate. Okay, I don't want you guys recommending the, you know, buzzsaw launcher from Turbo Kid. I can't replicate that. It's cool. I'm not going to disagree with you. But if we're going to do it, I'm just going to talk about it as a conceptual weapon, not an actual one, because I can't replicate that. But with that being said, just throw cool suggestions at me. And again, something I can conceivably actually do or replicate or fudge a little. But hope you all had a wonderful time. Stay safe out there, everybody, and peace.